My name's Bob, and this is Doug, and we tell behind the scenes stories of the fire department and people that work in the fire department. And today we got a couple of good ones for you. Uh, you know, our city was pretty old, and we ended up with 14 stations, but there's a couple of them that still had horses. Not when we were in them,
Oh, good.
but they were built
Maybe
during
you,
the
but
during the
not me
horse
anyways.
during the horse days. And this is a story about one of them. It was stuck on a small lot, and in order to have enough parking you needed parking for 8 guys, because there's a crew of 4 and then another crew of 4 that came to replace them. So what you would do was you would the day crew would go behind the fire station and park their cars, and then when the night crew came in, like before that, they'd move them to the side and then they'd put their cars in behind. So, anyways, we had a captain on another squad, and on this day, behind us, we had a neighbor. He was a Portuguese guy, and they had this big tree up in his backyard. They were going to cut it. He'd been saying he was going to cut it for a long time, but now he's going to cut it. He had this pretty daughter too, boy.
Yeah, she was pretty.
Yeah, every time she was out sunbathing, everybody's up in the loft.
Anyways, that's
Never mind. That's another story.
another time.
So all day, this guy and his brother-in-law were cutting off limbs and lopping this tree off and cutting it down a little bit. And finally, they got it to this big stump, and the stump had to be, well, you couldn't put your arm around it, I don't think.
It was huge.
It was big, and they left it maybe 15 feet tall. So then they stopped and they had supper and some of the Portuguese wine that they made. He was known for his homemade wine and fortified. And we left, and the night shift came in, and we had a captain there, and he had just bought a new Oldsmobile, brand new. So when we came in the next morning, went around the back, and there's this there's this Oldsmobile, and it's got this big tree, and the tree had fallen right across through a fence, a board fence, and it hit the back of the car, just at the trunk, where the trunk meets the back seat. And when we got to work, it was on Charlie's trunk, and his front two wheels are about that far in the ground. Yeah.
That same station, Bob. I was working there, and our captain at the time, he had made a trade with another captain, and the other captain came in. Now, like Bob said, if you work in the night shift, because of the area especially, you wanted to park around the back at nighttime. So, anyway, you came in, you parked at the side, and you parked your vehicle around the back on the guy's left. Well, he didn't want to park with the rest of the guys because he just got a brand new car. So he parked over in the corner. Well, one of the guys from the off-duty shift came in to have a visit, and he took him out there to show him his car, his brand new car. He looked at the car. Well, this guy is known. He's known for accidents. He's accident prone.
Yeah, there were lots of stories about him.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Anyhow, he's talking about the captain's car, and that's a beautiful car. You got a nice car there. He gets in his car. Captain comes in the kitchen. We're just all sitting down, and this guy's leaving, and we hear him start his car up, and all of a sudden we hear crunch. We all just sort of looked at each other when we walked out, and he had gotten in his car and backed up right into the captain's car, the one he had just looked at. He said, "Sorry, I didn't know it was there."
He says, "What do you mean? I just showed it to you."
Oh, God. There was more accidents in that parking lot. That tiny little postage stamp for a parking lot.
One time I was working a trade for a guy, and that fire station it didn't have automatic door closers, and the street was the ramp was really short. It was like half a fire truck length, and then the front wheels were out onto the road, and so the idea would be the truck would pull out, the driver would know just how far to go, and then I would grab a hold of the chains and pull the door down, lock it, and then run out and jump on the seat and go. But we had a garden too right next to the fire hall, and it had metal stakes in it on the corner so that you would, drag hoses and damage the flowers. So the truck pulled out, and I pulled the door down and turned around and ran. But my toe caught one of these stakes, and I just went and fell, and I fell right at the edge of the sidewalk, and my knee hit the edge of the sidewalk, just like that. And I thought I broke my leg. It's one of those things when you hit, it's just like, oh my God. So I sort of crawled the rest of the way, got myself onto the truck, and on the way over, I said to the captain, I said, Cap, just drop me off at the hydrant. I can catch a hydrant, but I don't know if I can come and do anything for you. He said, what? So anyways, they took me right to the hospital after the alarm. There was nothing on the alarm, but they took me to the hospital to get it x-rayed. And I did. And it turned out it was nothing. It was just, a very sensitive area, the funny bone and stuff like that. And I got dropped back off at the fire station by the chief, and he just sort of dropped me off at the. But I noticed that going up this little bit of front lawn, there was 2 tire tracks. I thought, what the heck is going on with that? And they're heading towards the side of the building. And then I looked over there, and there was a car there that I didn't know. And he'd obviously come up over the ramp, at an angle, and over the grass, and so I go in, and the captain's door's open, and when I look in the captain's, there's this guy sitting in the captain's chair. I had no idea who he was.
The guy who was driving the car.
And I figured that, but he goes, this is what?
Oh, God.
They're looking for me. I guess he must have been chased by the police. That's why he came up.
It's fitting for the area.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm thinking, oh, Jesus, what am I going to do here now? Like the truck's not back. The truck was out, right? And so just happened, one of the other guys from another squad came in to pick something up out of his locker. And it was Wayne Brown. I said, Wayne, this guy's in sort of some trouble. I said, he just lives about 3 blocks from here. But he can't drive, can you take him home? And Wayne says, well, yeah, I can take him home, yeah. So he gets in the car and puts this guy in the car and backs out and goes, and he walks back to the fire station in about half an hour. And I said, wow. He says, Wayne said, I can't believe what just happened. I says, what just happened? He says, I went to the door, knocked on the door, and all of a sudden this lady comes to the door, and she starts in on me. I couldn't get a word in edgewise. Meanwhile, her husband's back behind going. So his wife was blaming Wayne for taking this guy out and getting him pissed on a Saturday afternoon, right? And bringing him home.
Oh, God.
Yeah, those are 2 5 stories. Yeah. So anyways, I guess that's all we got to tell about number 5 company.
Yep.
Except there were ghosts there.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely haunted.
It turned into a head shop. And they closed it down, and now it's a head shop, unfortunately. But I went in one of these way back when, and I talked to the guy, and I said, so have you ever seen the ghost? He says, yeah. He says, we have. He says, it's up there. I said, yeah, because there was one in the loft there.
Yep.
So, but anyways, thank you for tuning in, and I hope you liked the story as much as we liked telling it. If you did like it, please press the like button. And please press the follow button. We post every Friday, and if you press the follow button, we'll just automatically come to your mailbox. So thank you. Goodbye. Stay safe.
Bye now.
See you next week.